For a while, I was struggling to figure out how to start this video essay. Sitting at my computer, it was difficult to think about what topic I was going to cover, and after that, what film I was going to apply those concepts to. Now pause. What I've just done is made you very aware that you were watching a video, if you weren't already, that is. I drew attention to the fact that there is somebody who consciously chose the images you would see. This is me sitting at my computer, recording something for you to watch. By doing this, I've achieved at least the meta part of Metacinema. Of course, a video essay isn't necessarily cinema, but that's another argument to have later, and probably another video essay. In essence, Metacinema is the process by the filmmaker to make the audience aware that they are watching a film. Now that we've seen the concept in action through my very amateurish demonstration, we can apply it to one of my favorite films. This is why The Truman Show is a great example of very subtle metacinema. Now, when you first think about it, you might say, well, it's obviously an example of metacinema. It's about the production of a show inside of a movie, and it makes you aware that you're watching a movie. And I would say on some level that this is true, but it's also true that when you're watching the film, you typically don't consciously think about that fact. When I'm enjoying The Truman Show, the fact that it shows Ed Harris directing or the composer composing doesn't make me actively think about The Truman Show's, the film's, production. Those elements are still part of the world of the film. They still fit in. This subtle type of metacinema is best displayed through Truman slowly realizing that his life, the world of the show, is a lie. The audience realizes what's happening relatively side by side with Truman, and on repeat watches, the visual aesthetics of the film become very rewarding in this regard. We watch Truman through numerous hidden cameras within the fake Sea Haven town, and it takes a while for us to realize that there is a technical intent behind them. The same applies to the fake paid product placements. They're subtle enough early on that the audience doesn't even notice them on the first watch.
Get one of those new elk rotaries.
And that speaks to something else with subliminal messaging, but again, another video essay. The most obvious example of this kind of subliminal messaging is the scene where Truman confronts his wife.
Why do you want to have a baby with me? You can't stand me.
That's not true. Why don't you let me fix you some of this new Mococo drink? All natural cocoa beans from the upper slopes of Mountain Nicaragua, no artificial sweeteners.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I've tasted other cocos. This is the best.
What the hell does this have to do with anything? Tell me what's happening!
My favorite part of the scene is a little later on, if we skip ahead, when Truman's best friend comes in the most appropriate fashion imaginable.
Truman? Truman.
Oh, thank God!
6-pack of beer first, with the brand label facing the camera. Of course, the hints of truth littered throughout The Truman Show go far beyond just visuals. At its core, the story is about one man trying to escape a world of lies where everyone and everything is watching. And that applies to us too. We're watching the crew try to catch Truman. We're watching the reactions of the viewers who are watching the show. On the surface, it seems like that's all there is to it. But I think on some level, while watching the film, we subconsciously realize that by exposing the controlled nature of Truman's fake world, the filmmakers are in fact exposing the controlled nature of the whole film. They aren't walking around in front of the camera. Well, they technically are some of the time. That's the composer of the film, Philip Glass, acting as the live composer for the show. But when they are in front of the camera, we don't know it, and that's the point. As Christoph says,
we accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
That doesn't just go for Truman, it goes for us too. We accept the reality of the film that we are given, and it typically takes something extremely jarring, like a fourth wall break, to shatter that reality. I think The Truman Show toys with our reality. It knows a straight fourth wall break is too much, so it gives us fake ones that are explained in the logic of the film. It shows us the inner workings of the production without letting us be distracted by it or even realize it. And that's what makes The Truman Show metacinema at its finest.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.